Let's do an initial Cisco configuration of a fresh, brand new Cisco router, shall we? Join me in. So this is my situation. I have two routers I just bought, okay? And this is the end result I want to achieve, which is I want to, 1 second, let me just put here. Yeah, I want to have this guy here. I want to call it router 1, and I'm going to have a crossover connection, so a single Ethernet cable, really simple, connecting router 1 to router 2. So this is going to be called router 1. This is going to be called router 2. I am going to use these names as an example. You can call them whatever you want. I just powered the routers on and they are completely blank, and I want to make sure they can ping each other through that direct cable connection, if you prefer a crossover cable. Shall we? So let's get this out of the way first. Let's start with top left, which is going to be router 1. So let's start by doing some conft. So I'm going to go into global configuration mode and give it a name, host name, and give it its name. There we go, immediate effect. Let's then do the same thing on router 2. So I'm going to go into global configuration mode and host name router 2 or R2, whatever you prefer. Effects are immediate. The names are stored in the running configuration in RAM. So if you want to be completely safe, you can save the configuration so it's preserved across reboots. So you can just go back to privileged mode, and you can just do copy, running config, startup config, and save the file, which is perfectly fine. And now every time you reboot these routers, I forget, you can be safe that the host name is preserved across reboots. Copy, running config, startup config. There we go. Host names are set. Now we know which one is which. Now we know that's router 1 and we know that's router 2. To my friends in the short term, on the short-term videos, on the shorts, YouTube shorts and other shorts video format, come and check to my YouTube channel, Ozzoy Bits, and check the long form for the full tutorial. I'll see you there. Like, subscribe, and comment. For my long-term friends, let's continue on. So let's now do a quick, I don't know what, let's start with this. Let's do a show IP interface brief on each router. So you can just see what we're dealing with. Show IP interface brief. This is going to give us a very nice list of the interfaces we are dealing with, okay? So I'm not going to show you the exact configs that I have. I'm just going to make sure, yeah. But basically, these two routers are connected by the Ethernet, let me double check, Ethernet 0.1. So this is Ethernet 0.1 here, not dot slash, Ethernet 0/1 over here. So they are connected through their Ethernet 0.0/1s of each other. Okay, cool. Now, let's see what their state is. So 0.1, it's there. Oops, it's there. And it's there. So the physical state looks to be okay. Up is what we want. Okay. And let's do just a more thorough thing. So let's do a show interface Ethernet 0/1 and get some more information. So it's up, okay? It's already up, but for the most part, you won't see this as an up. Let me show you. So you will probably see as a fresh new router interface 0.1. In this case, in router 1, should be in the shutdown state. So when you buy a new router or configure fresh new router with no configurations, it should be in this state. This is the state you should find it. So let's go back to the show interface. You should be seen as administratively down. Okay, so let's go back to the brief. This is probably what you're going to see. I just went ahead, I just jumped the gun a little bit. So this is just what you should be seeing on a fresh new router. So let's put router 2 in the same state. So interface Ethernet 0/1 and shut down. Okay, shut down. So this is the default state of a fresh new router. Brief. Okay, so fresh new router, just bought router, or with this configuration completely erased, this is what you will see administratively down. So be careful that a fresh router all the interfaces that you just powered on for the first time, the interfaces should be, or they normally are, or rarely they are not, they are shut down all around. So all the interfaces of a router should be shut down in a freshly bought router or a recently configuration erased router. Okay, so let's start with the beginning. So let's go to the interface Ethernet 0/1. Okay, and I'm going to make up something here. So this network is going to be 10.0.0.0/24. Okay, and this guy here is going to be .1, and this guy here is going to be .2. Okay, I have bad handwriting and I'm writing with the mouse, but you guys can relate with this. So let's start with router 1. We are already on the interface, in the interface configuration mode. Let's do IP address 10.0.0.1.255.255.255.0. There we go. Looks good. Don't forget to do a no shutdown. If you keep the interface in shutdown mode, it will be able to communicate at all. And there I have it. It's up. It's looking great. Let's go here to this guy here, Ethernet 0/1. IP address is going to be 10.0.0.2.255.255.255.0. Don't forget the no shutdown. There we go. You're going to exit configuration mode, going back to enable mode. We're going to do a fresh new show IP interface brief. Our show IP interface brief is going things as up. Show IP interface brief is always showing us everything as up, looking very nicely. And we should be ready to ping. But since I said this is connected through an Ethernet cable, back to back, a crossover cable, if you want to make an extra step of verification, which is fine, you can just do show CDP neighbors. And they should be able to see one another. So show CDP neighbors. And there we go. Router 1 sees router 2 and router 2 sees router 1. So looking nice. Now we can just do the ping. Find a ping 10.0.0.2. This is going to wait a couple of seconds. And as you can see, the first ping failed and all the sequences are working now. And you can just ping 001 from router 2 and everything is working fine now. So bonus question for you guys. Why did the first ping fail and all the rest of the pings are working just fine? So our first ping, the first ping ever we used between these two guys, the first one failed and all the sequential ones just worked. So do you have any tips for why did the first ping fail and what caused the first ping to fail, but all the other ones are working just great? I'm going to count down from 5 and give you the answer. 5, and you can put the answer down below in the comments. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the ERP. It was as long as it took for the ERP to do its thing and resolve everybody's MAC addresses, and everybody's happy. So show IP MAC address. Show IP ARP. I'm sorry, this is a router, not a switch. Show IP ARP. If I type it correctly, of course. Show IP ARP. There we go. They know this MAC address is just fine. That's why the pings are working as expected and perfectly as they are. So the first ping failed because it was all the time that ERP had to use to get everybody's MAC addresses. Like, subscribe, and comment, especially comment. Ask any questions you may have all about this. Let me know any doubts you had about this procedure. I hope this helped. Like, subscribe, and comment, it will help. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.